What's up, guys? Today we're checking out the brand new TLX 3500 for PC, Xbox, and PS4. I believe day of recording and the day this video is coming out, this mod is officially out on ModHub for all platforms for you guys to check out. But we're going to be going over this mod today, checking out the loads of different options that this thing has. But without further ado, let's get into it. So first things first, here we got the TLX 3500 here with the flatbed. Now this one is more of a work style truck with a few customizations, custom rims, and a few other things. Now, if we go over here, there's a few lifted versions, which we'll get into in a second here. But I figured I'd show this version off first. Now, we got the Bear 4x4 quad here. This quad is available on console as well, and PC. And if you want, you can just load this quad right on the back of this truck. Also, if you got yourself a bale, that fits perfectly on the back. You can strap it down, and you can pretty much haul or hook up whatever you want as far as trailers and goosenecks go. Now, I do believe the interiors on the trucks are pretty much all the same. Very nice looking interior. I personally think this is one of the better interiors I've ever seen for a console truck. Now, moving on here to the lifted of lifted trucks here. This is probably the most lifted truck that's ever been on console before. We got the boggers on this thing. We got a massive bumper, LED lights, running boards, flatbed. I personally really like the flatbed. I think that looks really good. I don't know how many gooseneck trailers you're going to be hooking up to this, considering how tall it is, but it's got a pretty big drop hitch, so you can hook up trailers. Again, interior is pretty much the same, of course, depending on what version of the truck you go with, which we'll get into that in a little bit in the options. And we'll actually take that truck off-roading here in a little bit because that has some really cool features that I want to show you guys. Now, we got one of the trailers hooked up here with a side-by-side in the back. By the way, this side-by-side is available on console as well, but you can see the drop hitch goes down plenty enough for this trailer to actually be somewhat leveled out. This truck kind of reminds me of like a Dodge, probably like one of the Ram Runners or something. It looks pretty cool. I do believe this one's some sort of a blacked out version. And we got a bed on the back. Of course, it does have a gooseneck hitch if you choose to haul a gooseneck trailer. I don't know how many gooseneck trailers going to be hauling with this, considering it is so tall, but you could probably try it out. But we're going to fire this thing up here and get out on the mud trails and see what it can do. Cool thing about this, though, got this super cool logo that lights up when you start up the truck. I really like that. I think it looks pretty cool. So you fire up all your lights here. You got plenty of lights. So at night, everything's gonna be nice and lit up for you. You're not gonna have to worry about that at all. The sounds are really nice on this truck. It is just so dang tall. We got the boggers on this thing as well. I think as far as off-road trucks get, you can't get much better than this thing. Now, probably my favorite part about these trucks, they have got fully working suspension. So you go over log and whatever. The suspension is all work. If you look in the front here, you can see the axle. It flexes, it moves. It is awesome. So you got fully working suspension, and I think this thing is going to go through just about anything you toss at it. Let's try go through here. Let's see if the 3500 can make it through this. Oh yeah, without a problem. The flex on this truck is just unreal. Just look at how much that's flexing. That is crazy. So you can pretty much rip through any trails you're going to need to get through. And with the tailgate, it opens, and you should be able to load a quad or side-by-side up in the back. So no problems with that. But enough with driving this truck around. Let's get into some of the options on this thing. So you go into the store here. It's going to be under cars. You scroll on over to TLX 3500 crew cab. Now, starting out with this thing, it's going to be a pretty basic truck. Of course, you've got all your colors. This is a two-tone truck, which is pretty cool. We went with blue on the top there. You can go with black on the bottom there. It's a nice looking two-tone. But probably my favorite part about this truck, the wheel option. So starting out here, you got stock. You've got work wheels, which personally aren't my favorite, but everybody likes something a little bit different. Next up here, you got sport wheels, all-terrain, which kind of gives you more of like an all-terrain tire type of deal. You got off-road, off-road beadlocks, off-road beadlocks 2, off-road winter, which, I mean, you're probably not getting stuck with that. And you've got mud terrain, which lifts the truck like crazy. And you've got Swamp Masters. These tires are the probably beefiest tires next to tractor tires you will ever see on console. These things are massive. And then it's back to stock. Now, the wheel setup option here. You can do this on any one of the different tire options that you go through. You got sport, all terrain. We went through all of that, but in the wheel setup, you've got your standard, you've got Mud 1, which is more of a beadlock rim, and you've got Mud Twins, which is a dually on the back, and Mud Twins 2, which is a beadlock, and then you're back to the standard kind of mud terrain tire. Now, this is available on all the tire options here. You got the beadlocks, whatever. You can go through all of that, and then special editions. So we got standard to start off the options here. You got your metal, which gives you more of a metal color all around the truck. You got the black, which kind of gives you a blacked out option on all your different parts here. You've got a copperhead, which I like. Of course, depending on your body colors, it kind of would look weird on a blue truck like this. And then silver bullet, which is completely pretty much chrome. And you're back to standard. Now, bumpers. We've got standard, off-road. We've got off-road 1, which is a bit more of a different style. Off-road 2, which is the really wide. I'm not too sure why'd you go with that, but you can. I think you can get bigger fender flares. We'll get into that in a second. We've got off-road 3, which I don't think much is getting past this one. That's a big bumper. And off-road 4, which is just a bit of a wider option. Okay, I stand corrected. The extreme option. Yeah, this is going to protect the entire front end of your truck without a doubt. And then you're back to your standard deal there, which I believe this is all the options in color. I think the rest were in black. So yeah, you can get all the different options here. And I think it does depend whether you go with metallized or whatever. Yeah, so you can go with all sorts of options and pretty much figure out exactly what you like. But I think we're going to go with this option because I kind of want to see what it's going to do when we put on fender flares. So fenders, you got standard to start off with. You got thin fender flares, which, you know, bit of a thin fender flare. And then you've got the wide fender flare, which that I think is what the wide bumper is for. So yeah, that covers most of the bogger there. How crazy wide that bogger is. That covers most of it. And then you're back to main color in the thin. And you can kind of cycle through to all the different colors and whatever. You got design colors. It kind of just gives you a array of options there. So extras, you've got standard, which these extra parts are just extra parts on the cab here. So we'll go through all the options. You've got side steps, which are, well, the running boards. You've got your snorkel, roof rack, combo 1, which, and as you go through the options here, you'll see all the different combos you can get, which are essentially just combining all the different parts, or you can just get one part or all of them or different combinations of them. There's endless options with this thing. I'm actually kind of curious how many different customizations there are, like when it comes to how many different options you could possibly choose for this truck. Next up here, we got mirrors. You got standard and you've got wide mirrors, which more of a Chevy mirror. I personally think it would have been cool to see a tow mirror on that because this is more of a Dodge looking truck, but that's just me. I still think these mirror options are really cool. Emblems here, you've got standard, you've got TLX 3500, which I believe all the emblems kind of do have a little bit of a change on the truck. You got TLX plus TLX 3500, and then you're back to standard. And that is like all the options for this truck. So realistically, you can customize out this truck however much you want on their colors. You can even go that weird color. You've got your rim colors as well. This is not gonna lie, this is a hideous looking truck. I don't know about this one, but this is a crazy off-road version. You can customize your options to make yourself a farm truck. You don't gotta go this crazy if you don't want to. Next up here, we got the beds for the truck. You're gonna want to go into miscellaneous here in trailers. You're gonna want to scroll over here to the 3500 bed, which there's just 2 beds here. I do believe A2 Studios, David, did say that you can use different beds on this truck. I haven't tested that out yet, but I do believe you can. So first off here, we got the pickup bed. Again, all the same colors as the truck. You can go nuts with all the colors. So options here, we got standard, we've got rack, which is kind of just a headache rack. You got rack with LED bar, a complete roll bar. If you want to make yourself a rock crawling truck, that is the way to go. Got roll bar 1, which even more roll bar there. Roll bar 2, just a different roll bar option, and you're back to standard. Special editions, same as the truck. You've got metal, black, copperhead, silver bullet, which kind of just changes the bumper and the hitch kind of options there. And then you're back to standard. Bumpers here, I believe they got all the same kind of styles of bumpers as they do on the front. You got standard, you got off-road, off-road bumper, and back to standard off-road. Yeah, kind of just those 2 options there. Fenders, you've got twins, which is more of a dually option. You've got the thin fender flares, and then you got the wides. And then, of course, you can cycle through all the different colors and stuff. You got black, you've got your main color matched. You got all those different options. Emblems on the back here of the tailgate. Alturo, I believe that's how you say it. I might be butchering that. The glow version of it, and back to standard. So you just got those 2 little options there. But that is it for the TLX 3500 pickup bed. Next up, here we got the TLX 3500 pickup bed. Next up here, we got the TLX 3500 flat bed. So you got your special editions options here. You've got standard, metal, black, copperhead, silver bullet, and that kind of just changes back to standard there. You've got all this kind of just changes in here, so nothing too crazy. Lighting, you've got LED lights to kind of go on the top of there. That's kind of cool. Sport lights, emergency light bar, and back to standard. Fenders, you got your standard here, and you got your twins. So if you're more going for a dually option, that's probably the way to go. Side rails here, you want a little extra side rail, you got standard, and you've got, well, yes, for the rails. Last option here for the flatbed, you've got service rack, and then you're back to standard. Of course, got all your different colors here, and depending on which special edition you go with, it's kind of going to change. Oh, the silver bullet looks really good with that red there. And that is it for the bed options. Yeah, guys, that is it for the TLX 3500. There is so many options to cover here on this truck, but you can customize out the trucks exactly how you want. Whether you go with your big swamper version that's probably never going to get stuck, or a little old farm truck with steely rims to do stuff around the farm, or anything in between, you got all your options here. I'll have this mod linked down in the description. It's on PC, Xbox, PS4. It's all across there. I'll have it all linked down in the description. Anyway, guys, it's gonna be the end of the video for today. If you did enjoy, smash that like button. Also, if you're new, consider subscribing. Hope y'all enjoyed. I'll see y'all in the next one.